Hi guys, this is Dr. J. Saravanan. I am here again with the part 2 of the preamble of the Indian Constitution and the philosophy of the Constitution. In this video, we are going to discuss about various expressions contained in the preamble. There are several words are there in the preamble itself. In the previous video, you would have gone through the preamble. In the question and answer session also, I have discussed about the words which is incorporated in the preamble. We will be looking at one by one today. The first word that we are going to look at it, independent. So, when we say independent, the literal meaning of the independent is not dependent on anyone. Is India dependent on anyone for the independence? No. We have ourselves fought for it and we got it, and then we wrote the constitution by ourselves. That is what I have explained in the preamble also. The first word itself says that we the people of India. In the last word it says that we gave it to ourselves, this constitution. Nobody else has given to us. It is not a gift from somebody else. It is not a gift from the British Parliament as well. So, we were not dependent on anyone in order to write the constitution, but we have had a body which is called Constituent Assembly. As I have said, the Constituent Assembly consists of representative of the people whom we have sent ourselves by casting our votes. Okay, they have represented us and they wrote the constitution. They determined the political future of the country in all the matter, for that matter. As I have said, the word we the people of India, then towards the end of the preamble, it says that adopt, enact and give it to ourselves this constitution, thus declare the ultimate sovereignty of the people of India, and that the constitution rests on their authority. So, although constitution is there, who has decided that this constitution will be what called the laws of the constitution will be ruling us? It is we ourselves have decided, because the Constituent Assembly who wrote the constitution, it is elected member by us. So, the second word which is called sovereignty. Okay, we need to understand this sovereignty word. India is a sovereignty state. How we can say that? Okay, so sovereignty means that independent authority of the state. That it means that Parliament has the power to legislate on any subject. Okay, whether it could be a union list or state list or concurrent list or residuary power. Parliament has the power to legislate on any subject related to any part of India or any sector. I will tell you, in order to make you understand about this power division of union government, state government and the local self-government, the power is kind of divided that, okay, some power is given to the union government, some power is given to the state government, and some power is given to the local government. Here, who is more powerful? As we have studied in the previous video and videos, that union government possesses more power, and here I will be using union government and central government interchangeably. So, you need to understand that union government and the central government are same. Okay. State government is state government is separate. Okay. State government is nothing but a constituent part of India. So, here constitution itself says that, okay, these are the powers that union government will be dealing with it. Okay. These are the power that state government will have, and these are the power that local self-government will have. Local self-government is both urban and rural. Okay. So, union government, how many sector or how many subject under the union list are there? Around 100 subjects are there, and state list around 63 subjects are there, concurrent list around some 47 subjects are there, and residuary power, it is unlimited. Residuary power is nothing but the power which is not mentioned in the all the three lists that I have said, whether it could be a union list or state list or concurrent list. For example, cyber security related issues, which is a new nature, or like the problem which is of a new nature. So, that is not listed anywhere, like that subject is not there either in the union list or state list or concurrent list. So, it will be considered as that considered that it will be included in the residuary power, and thereby Parliament will have the right to legislate on this cyber security related issues. So, likewise, when we say sovereignty, sovereignty is nothing but the ultimate power. Ultimate power of India is that Indian Parliament can legislate on any subject if it wants. Sometime even it go to the extent of legislating on some issues which is not under the country itself. Like for example, if it is the external power also, they can legislate, or the external matter also, they can legislate on the subject. Like for example, let me tell you so that you will be able to understand. In the previous video also I have said that Goa was under Portuguese. India got independence in 1947, 15th August. Goa was remain under the Portuguese. Similarly, Portuguese Pondicherry was also remain French colony, but Puducherry was given independent in the year 1957, but Goa was not given freedom. So the people of Goa actually agitated against the Portuguese, and they were asking for independence. So India requested Portuguese government that they may give independence to Goa, but they have refused. So what India did, India actually occupied Goa by sending their army. Nobody was killed from the Goa Portuguese army, but then like only one Indian army was killed. Otherwise, nobody was killed or nobody was hurt in this. So although Goa was not a subject to India, or Goa was not related to India because Goa was ruled by some other country, but we have taken an initiative because Indian origin people are living, or it was previously part of India. So that's why we thought that with the request of the people, we can reoccupy and merge with India. That is what we did. Similar case with Sikkim as well. Sikkim also was not a part of India till 1970s, 60s, 70s, pardon me, I don't remember now. If you want, I can leave this clarification in the comment box itself so that you will be able to understand. Okay. Sikkim people also the same way went against the kingdom of Sikkim, and they demanded that they may be what called merged with India. So with the request from what called people of Sikkim, and Sikkim also was merged with India. Although this Goa and Sikkim was not a part of India, they were ruled by different kingdom or different foreign country, still we have taken initiative to what called merge them. Likewise, there are many issues. Beriberi case also, we were not sure that like the border was drawn in favor of India or in favor of Pakistan, but we had to take an action in order to merge with India, in order to merge that land with India. So here what I mean to say that sovereignty is nothing but we have ultimate power of ourselves that we can do anything, or we can legislate on any subject within India. Sometime we can legislate on the subject which is not related to India or outside India or external to India. The next point that we are going to look at here is that republic. What do you mean by republic? Preamble declares unequivocal terms that the source of all authority under the Constitution is the people of India, and there is no subordination to any external authority. Now when we say Constitution, who has written the Constitution? As I've said already, and all of you know that it is Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly was representing the people. The same way, who has written the Constitution? It is the people of India that we can say. So whatever the requirements and needs that people of India felt, accordingly the Constitution of India was written. And we are not subordinate to any external authority. When we were writing the Constitution, we did not come under the force of any other country that you should incorporate these and these things. Nobody said to us. It is we who have decided our future. And another meaning of the republic is that the head of the state. There is a two things are there that you need to understand. Head of the state is different from the head of the government. Who is the head of the state in India now presently? It is President. Head of the government, it is Prime Minister and its Council of Ministers. Now, for Pakistan till 1956, head of the state was not their president. It is British Queen. After 1956 only, they decided that their head of the state will not be Queen of England or Queen of British Kingdom. India ceased to be a dominion and declared herself as a republic since the making of the constitution in 1949. As soon as we got independence, we started writing the constitution. Before itself, like we started writing the constitution, by 1949 we have finished. 26th November 1949 we adopted this constitution and we gave it to ourselves. We enacted this constitution. Okay, in 26th January 1950 we declared ourselves as a republic country. Till 1949 we were known to be as British dominion. In 1949 only we ceased to be a dominion and declare ourselves as a republic since the making of constitution. Likewise, if you could see, I would like to draw your attention on Australia. Australia is not a republic country. Why? Because the head of the state for the Australia, even now also, it is a Queen of British Kingdom. It is not their elected representative. As far as India is concerned, President is our head of the state and he is indirectly elected by the people. The electoral college which elects the president consists of those people who are representative of India. And it means that the government by the people and for the people. India has an elected president at the head of our state, and all office, including that the president, will be open to all citizens. There is no hierarchy or like patriarchy kind of concept, wherein like only the what called son of the king or queen will become king. It is not there. Or any one family is not becoming head of the state in India. It is open to all citizens. Any citizen can become is a president of India who is basically from a scheduled caste community, which is from minority. And before him, former president Pratibha Patil, she is also from different family. Before him, President Abdul Kalam, he is also from Muslim community. It's a minority community. Likewise, if you could see throughout across since independence, okay, we have had many presidents from different background. There is no concept called from one family only the president should become continuously rule India. Now, the other word that we are going to discuss is that India is a socialist state. What do you mean by socialism? I would like to draw your attention here is that the socialism concept is a kind of ideology related or associated with Marxist ideology. What do you mean by Marxism? Marxism basically talks about establishing equality in the society. Karl Marx, when he wrote the book called Das Kapital in the 1850s, at that point of time, it was a time when the industrial revolution was starting. And because of the industrial revolution, the huge migration from rural to urban has led to pathetic condition of these people at the large scale. Some people were acquiring more wealth and they were becoming richer by richer every day. Some people like who were working under them, they were actually real pillar of the what called industrialist or industrial revolution. They were ignored, their life became very worst and they were becoming poorer and poorer day by day. So that is when Karl Marx came and he borrowed all the ideas from different scholars and he brought up ideology called Marxist ideology, which he tried to implement over the period of time, but in his lifetime he could not. But after 1917, in Russia, it was implemented, and because of Russia, many other countries such as China and Poland and Czechoslovakia, many Cuba, other countries started following that what called Marxism. And related to this ideology of Marxism, there is another concept called socialism. What do you mean by socialism? Socialism is a concept which works in the democratic form of government, but still fights for core principle which is followed by the Marxism. For example, socialism talks about we will form a party under the democratic setup and we will try to fight against those capitalist regime who favors the multinational companies, all the bourgeois or rich people. And this socialist party, basically what they do, their objective is that establishing equality in the society under the democratic setup. Apart from that, you can also say that distributing all the resources of the state to all the people equally, okay, and providing healthcare system free of cost to the people, and likewise there are many welfare schemes they started bringing. What happened in this scenario, I would like to draw your attention to what happened in India and other third world countries. When this, after 1917, there was that was the ending of the First World War. Then like Second World War came. After the Second World War, world is divided into two parts, that is called under the banner of US, that is capitalist country. Many other countries have joined them like Britain, France, Spain, Italy, all these countries joined with USA, and they did not believe in communism, they did not believe in Marxism, but they believed in what called capitalism or individual rights, freedom, okay, which is against the Marxism concept. So this is one block under the USA, that is America. Another block was under the USSR. They were core Marxist and they were getting inspired by them. Many other countries also joined like China or North Korea or like many other countries, Poland, Czechoslovakia, many other countries joined, okay. They were another block, it is called communist block. So capitalist block is under the leadership of USA and communist block is under the leadership of what called USSR. So these two groups have gained immense strength, and they were expecting all the countries who are newly getting independence, they should also join either the capitalist bloc or communist bloc. In this time only, Jawaharlal Nehru along with other what called important third world leaders, they came together and they formed a concept called non-alignment movement. This non-alignment movement is basically wanted to keep themselves remain neutral. The neutral here is that it is not that they will not join here or there, or they will be neutral, literal meaning of neutral. It doesn't mean like that. They mean to say that they will support those ideology which stands for the truth or which favors the peace, international peace. So these non-alignment movement countries, they have sometimes supported USA, sometimes supported Russia, sometimes yes, USSR, sometimes blamed both the countries for the what called situation, like for example North Korea and South Korea conflict. India criticized both USA and USSR and requested to remain calm. So likewise, these countries has borrowed some of the principles which is very attractive to them. For example, in Indian Constitution we have a concept called fundamental rights. It is borrowed by the US's Constitution. We have a concept called 5-year planning. It is borrowed from USSR, communist concept. And we also believe in welfare state. It is communist concept. That is like Marxism concept. Likewise, there are like many concepts which we mingled and we formed the Indian Constitution. And we also believe that we won't be getting into the side of any of these two blocks. So with the background of this one, I would like to explain you what is the socialist state. Okay. Socialist was not added when our Indian Constitution came to force. It was added little later, 1976, through the 42nd Amendment. I have already told you what is amendment. Amendment is changes which is being brought in Indian Constitution by the Parliament. So, in the preamble they have brought these changes in they have added socialist word. In the year 1976. Now, the question may come to you that why they did not add in 1949. They wanted to give an expression that our constitution is not favorable to any of the blocks. That is the reason that they did not include this socialist word. As I have said, it means the Constitution of India has a greater objective to secure social, economic equality and fair distribution of wealth among all sections of the people in the country. So, fair distribution of the wealth, I have said, it is borrowed from what called Marxist principle, and securing social and economic equality is one of the Marxist concept. And when the state is taking up lot of burden on them, that establishing equality, and most of the sectors were under the worker state. In Marxism, they say that okay, no private property rights. Private individual cannot hold any property. That is what they propagated or they believe in it. Once the private individual or any individual or private property is being what called popularized, there is a possibility that inequality may grow. So, that is why they said that everything should be under the government, from the soap box to big industries, everything should be handled by the state only. So, India also followed after independence the same concept. Although we have had a concept called mixed economy, there are very few sectors which is being given to the private what called ownership, and even then that also with lot of restriction. That is what we were called as a license Raj. For everything which is taken up by the private should take license, and the license will be given by the government, and the license will have a many terms and conditions. So, this license basically delays every process. Okay. Not getting back to that aspect, administration aspect, let me come back to this one. The realization of so many objectives would certainly mean an expansion of the function of the state. When state is taking up everything, state has to what called function in all the sectors of our day-to-day life. So, the goal envisaged by the constitution is of welfare state and the establishment of the socialist state. As I have said, this concept of socialism is not a new phenomenon. I have already said in post 1959 or like 1949 or before that itself, like we have had a what called this concept ingrained in our what called principles, that socialistic pattern of society by a resolution was explained in the objective in the Congress session of the Avadi in 1955. The resolution says that in order to realize the object of Congress and to further the objective stated in the preamble and the DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy of the Constitution of India, planning should take place with a view to the establishment of socialistic pattern of society, where the principal means of production are under the social ownership. At the Avadi session in 1955, Congress explained this objective as in establishing a socialistic pattern of society by a resolution. This socialistic, as I have said, although it was added in 1978 in the 42nd Amendment, but before that itself we have had this concept of socialism ingrained in our what could blood. That is why in 1955 in the Avadi session, the resolution which was passed in the what called our session, it clearly stated that what we wanted to do. In order to realize, let me read it out for you. In order to realize the object of the Congress and to further the objective stated in the preamble and the DPSP of the Constitution of India, planning should take place with a view to the establishment of a socialistic pattern of society. where the principal means of production are under social ownership or control. Production is progressively speeded up and there is an equitable distribution of the national wealth. Here you could see planning should take place with a view to establishment of socialistic pattern of society, and all the means of production means all the production should be under the social ownership. What do you mean by social ownership? It is a state. So that equal distribution of the national wealth can be done among the people. So this statement or this write-up that I have taken from what called Abadi session in 1955, the Congress session of Abadi in 1955. It clearly states that what we wanted or what is our objective. So the goal of Indian policy is socialism was ensured by inserting the word socialist in the preamble. It clearly spelled out that high ideals of the socialism. What are the high ideals? Equality, establishing equality, equal distribution. Okay. And the socialism word envisaged by the Indian Constitution is not the usual scheme of state socialism, which involves nationalization of all means of production and the abolition of private property. The socialism that we understood, it is not the socialism which is understood by what called USSR or USA or for that matter any other country. We have formed our own socialism. We will nationalize the sector, whichever the sector that we feel it is necessary. We will not nationalize the sector which we feel is that it is not required. Our type of socialism is not nationalizing everything. That is what our late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi has said. We have always said that we have our own brand of socialism. We will nationalize the sector where we feel the necessity. Just nationalizing is not our type of socialism. So other concept is India as a secular state. Here it is a very important concept because India is a very diversified country and our strength is there in the unity and diversity. And in terms of religion also, most of the religious people are living in India. Although Hindu is in majority, there are like 14% of the people are Muslim, 79% of the people are Hindu, 2.9% of the people are Christian, and other minorities such as Buddhist, Zoroastrianism and Jainism, people following Jainism, people following atheist also live in the country. So talking about India as a secular state, this word secular has been included in the preamble along with the word socialist. So in the by the 42nd Amendment in 1976. The characteristics of the Indian secularism is that India does not recognize any religion as the official or state religion. It treats all the religion equally and it gives freedom to the individual to adopt any religion. It does not impose in any religion, any individual that you have to adopt this religion. At the same time, it also takes note of those people like antisocial elements who try to impose or who try to brainwash some individuals in order to follow the religion. So wrong facts should not be given in order to convert other people. That is also one of the important aspects of what called giving right to the individual to adopt any religion. Okay. Moreover, the different communities in India have the right to practice their own faiths. The secularism is one of the ideals of the Indian Constitution. India is a democratic country. Preamble describes that India is a democratic country and democracy is one of the prime philosophy of Indian Constitution, which makes India as one of the largest democratic states in India. That is why Abraham Lincoln said, democracy is the government of the people, by the people and for the people. So here people decides. In the sovereignty concept also I was telling that, okay, how people are sovereign, because people who wrote this constitution, they said in the preamble that we the people of India enact, adopt, give to ourselves this constitution. So it is people who are supreme in the democracy. In democracy, like we also believe the concept of universal adult franchise, periodic election to choose the government, majority rule, rule of law, decentralization of the power, independence of the judiciary. Now let me explain whatever the points that I have said now. Universal adult franchise. What do you mean by universal adult franchise? Every people who attain the 18 years of the old in India has the right to vote, right to cast their vote. And every 5 years election will be conducted. And in the universal adult franchise, I'd like to point out that there are many developed countries who did not give voting rights to women, but India, as soon as they got independence, gave right to cast their vote or right to participate in the democratic process to every citizen who have attained 18 years of old age, whether irrespective of poor, rich, irrespective of man, woman, irrespective of what called any caste or ethnicity, belong to any caste or ethnicity, all the people irrespective of their caste, religion, any background, if they have attained 18 years of old age, they have got the voting rights. The same way, it is not that once the people are getting elected, like Prime Minister and its Council of Ministers, they will remain in the power continuously. Every 5 years, the election will be conducted and they will be checked whether they are performing well or not on the basis of the policy that they have implemented. If they are not fulfilling the people's aspiration, there is a possibility that the government will change. What you have seen in the 2014, UPA government was defeated in the election and the Modi government was elected. Same way, democracy believes in majority rule, democracy believes in rule of law in the sense that before law everyone is equal, decentralization of the power, independence of the judiciary. Decentralization of the power means power is not concentrated in one place at the center only. Some power is given to the state, some power is given to the local self-government. So likewise, everyone is included in the process of decision making. Independence of the judiciary, judiciary always known as watchdog of the constitution. This executive and legislature works and they will be checked by the judiciary that whether they are following the constitution or not. And in democratic republic, preamble also envisages in democratic not only from the political standpoint but also social standpoint. I will explain to you how it is in social standpoint and political standpoint. When we talk about the democratic form of government, in democratic society is infused with justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. I will be explaining to you each and everything. India is a representative democracy. Our constitution no agencies of direct control of the people such as referendum or initiative. Our population is so huge that we cannot afford to have this direct democracy. I have already told you in the previous video that only one or two countries have direct democracy concept applied in their country. One of the countries is Switzerland, wherein like people gathers and they take each and every time decisions or policy through referendum or through direct election. Referendum is which is like if the government feels that they wanted to take people's suggestion or opinion in order to apply or in order to implement any law, like what happened in Britain. They have conducted referendum in order to listen to the people that whether the British government or Britain should be part of European Union or not. European Union is all the European countries made a union and they have what called strengthened this union phase by phase. So British government was also part of European Union. At one point of time they felt that they should have the European Union because of conditions which was put forward by the European Union. So they conducted referendum, they took the opinion of the people. People said that no, we don't want to be in European Union. So they have exited from the European Union. That is called Brexit. Initiative. What do you mean by initiative? Initiative is a initiative taken by the people by getting the signature of all the people that we want the government to pass this law, or we don't want to government to pass this law, or like we wanted to remove this law, that they will say. So the people of India are to exercise their sovereignty through the parliament at the center and the legislature in each state, which is to be elected on adult franchise. So here for the central government, that is for parliamentary election for Lok Sabha, and for state government separately the election will be conducted. For local self government separately election will be conducted. The next concept is justice. Justice implies that the government will try to promote the welfare of all sections of the people. Nobody will be left out. Special arrangement for the weaker section. Justice not in one way only, social, economic and political, all the ways, all the three ways. That is what like you can see in the preamble. What is the social justice that we will see? Economic justice and political justice. Like for example, when we talk about the social justice, giving special arrangement to the weaker section. It could be SC, ST, it could be tribals, it could be minorities of the society, abolishing untouchability, providing free education up to the standard, certain standards. Okay, all these steps actually says that okay, India's or Indian Constitution is very concerned about every section of the people. In a democracy, the meaning of the democracy will become full-fledged or complete till each and every section of the people, each and every individual is taken into consideration when the democratic government is functioning. Although it is a majoritarian government in the sense that okay, majority of the people whomever they wanted to elect, they can be getting elected. Okay. What is the political justice? As I've said, universal adult franchise, wherein like all the people like who have attained 18 years of age in India, they are born and brought up. Okay, so they will be getting the right to vote, right to cast the vote. And political justice also has given an equal right to all adult citizens to be elected or appointed to public services. If any individual, if they wanted to contest in election, they are free to contest in election. If any individual wanted to become a prime minister, they can become prime minister. That is what we could see. Our present Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has worked as a chai wala, but he could become a prime minister in the sense that okay, anybody can become a prime minister if you have willpower. Social justice. Through social justice, the Constitution has made special arrangement for the weaker section of the society. I have already told you, abolished untouchability, provided free education up to certain standard, and we have also implemented right to education under Article 21A in the year 2009. This question I may ask. When I am coming for video conferencing, video meeting, I will ask this question. In which year the right to education was enacted? Article 21A was amended in order to incorporate or this right to education. It is 2000, year 2009. It is year 2009. M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, who is known to be a father of nation, he said, our struggle does not end so long as there is a single human being considered untouchable on account of his birth. Economic justice, making sure that all the individuals of the country or all the citizens of the country are not lacking a basic minimum needs, basic needs. Taking this one into consideration, in the year 2005, MG Narega was implemented, wherein like all the people will have the right to get a job, 100 days job. It has become their rights, that if the government doesn't give, they can go to the court and demand for it. This is to abolish any unequal distribution of income and wealth. And even 2019 election, before 19 election, UPA government has come out with a manifesto wherein like it was said that all the jobless youth will be getting 6,000 per month as a remuneration, unemployment youth remuneration. They have promised, if they would have come to power, they would have implemented this scheme. So it has become what called mandatory for the, once the UPA government would have come, it would have become mandatory for the government to provide unemployment youth remuneration for all the youths who are unemployed. Liberty. Liberty is nothing but freedom in terms of political, in terms of society, social. As I've said, like not much difference between the justice that we have discussed and liberty that we are discussing here. And liberty is one of the basic thing that every human being should possess in order to live in a society. It is essential for free and civilized existence, and it should be assured to every member of the community, and in India it has been assured. Preamble mentions these essential individual rights as a freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship, and it has been guaranteed to all the authorities of the state, against all the authorities of the state. State should ensure that all this freedom is given to the individual. To ensure liberty to its citizens for all-round development of their personality, the Constitution of India provides number of fundamental rights to the citizens and also protect these rights. Fundamental rights, when we talk about the fundamental rights, how many fundamental rights are there in India, Indian Constitution? There were 7, now presently it is only 6. I will ask you to memorize all these fundamental rights and keep it with you, so that whenever I ask you, you should be in a position to tell. I am telling you one by one. The first fundamental rights is right to equality, which is Article 14 to 18. The second fundamental rights is right to freedom. Freedom of speech and expression, freedom of association, all these things you will be reading under the right to freedom. That is Article 19 to 22. Right against exploitation, that is third right, which is Article 23 and 24. Right to freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights, Article 29 to 30. And the last right, which is sixth right, Article 32, which talks about constitutional remedies. So all these 6 fundamental rights you should be keeping it in your mind. The right which is removed from the fundamental rights and kept it as a legal rights in Article 300 is right to property. Before 1978, we had a right to property, but in 1978, the right to property was removed from the fundamental rights and kept it as a legal rights in Article 300A. Equality is also one of the basis of democratic state. Equality is necessary for all the development of the society, because unequal society will promote violence in the society, and they will seek for alternative arrangement, political setup for them. Hence, the term equality has been inserted in the preamble to our Constitution. Equality has been guaranteed by the rule of law. What is this rule of law? As I have said already, before law, no one is big or small, no one is high or low, no one is rich or poor. Everyone is equal. Whether you are a prime minister or president or normal citizen or chief minister, if you are rich or you belong to this caste or that caste or that religion or this religion, that ethnicity or this ethnicity, anything it could be, your background could be. But before law, everyone is equal. To establish equality, our Constitution has provided the right to equality in the fundamental rights, as I have said, in Article 14 to 18. Indian Constitution ensures equality before the eyes of law to all persons, whether it could be a citizen or non-citizen. For non-citizens, some of the rights are there, some of the rights are not there. That I will be discussing in the later period, in the subsequent lecture. The Constitution also prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. Any individual also, at the same time, state also cannot discriminate the people on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. Now you may raise many questions that you can ask in the question and answer session, that I will be answering you. Equality. To promote fraternity among the people. Term fraternity has been incorporated in the preamble as a means of assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Any country, when will you feel that like you are a citizen of country? When your dignity is not hurt, or when the country's people believe that or feel that, okay, you are also part of this country, or you feel that you are part of this country. That will come unless and until you are being treated dignified manner. And your culture, your religion, your language, your what called every aspect of the culture is being treated as a India's culture. Now in India, although we have diversity, many people are living in India, but still we believe that, okay, all of us, despite of all these differences from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, we believe that we are part of India. We are united in India. Unity in diversity. We are integrated. Okay? The term dignity of the individual means that the personality of the individual should be recognized. Recognition of the personality and the dignity of the individual is an essential condition to promote fraternity among the people. You could see in the slide that how all the religion people are like in unity. They are saying that I love my India. To promote fraternity and a feeling of brotherhood among the people, there are certain attempts have been taken. Social distinction and inequalities has been removed, which is on the basis of caste, class, creed, language, religion, region. Without unity among its citizens, state could not be successful. In order to promote the diversity in the country, what we have done, we have incorporated this fraternity concept in all the school books, and we have tried to teach the people that how you should respect diversity, how you should respect other religion, other culture, other language, other race, other community. That is why this integrity word was incorporated as a part of 42nd Amendment to emphasize fundamental unity of the country against the divisive forces of regionalism and communism and the like. India is a welfare state. India is committed to the ideals of the welfare state, and it also made an all-out effort to establish socio-economic justice. That is why in that attempt, or towards that attempt, that we can say that the preamble lays the foundation of a welfare state in India. Acharya Kripalani, who is a famous philosopher, he said that preamble contains the mystic principles of a welfare state. India is committed to democracy and respect individual liberty, providing to all her citizens the equality of status and opportunity. DPSP, which is called Directive Principles of State Policy, which we will be studying as a separate topic also, involves social, economic, political, cultural goals are like instruction to the state. They aim to establish a welfare state in India. So, basically India is striving to become a full-fledged welfare state. Promotion of international peace. India has pledged to contribute to the promotion of international peace. Towards that attempt only, we have opposed imperialism anywhere in the world, and for that matter, like you could also see that how we have opposed apartheid in South Africa. Apartheid is a racial discrimination which is being practiced by South Africa till 1990s. Due to that only, Nelson Mandela was also in jail for some 25 years, and he was released, and the concept of apartheid was abolished in South Africa, and India has restored all the relationships. Before that, when apartheid was practiced in South Africa, we were not sending, India was not sending cricket team to South Africa to play against them. After this abolition of apartheid only, we have started sending cricket team to Australia, and the Indian cricket team started playing against Australia, South Africa, I'm sorry, it is South Africa. So India has pledged to contribute to the promotion of world peace, and it has been, we can see that how important this particular concept has been taken by the India by seeing that, okay, how this has been incorporated in the Constitution. Article 51 of the Constitution says that, okay, India should strive for promoting international peace and security. India should maintain a very honorable relation between nations. it should promote or foster respect for international law and treaty obligation and in the dealing of organized people with one another, and encourage settlement of international dispute by arbitration. These are the 4 things which has been told in the Article 51 of our Constitution, and India is taking all out effort to what called implement all these things, all these points. Now you could see Indian peacekeeping force has been sent to many places in order to solve any problem, in order to support United Nations also. And India has always tried to maintain a very good, honorable relationship between nations. And India is also respecting international law. And all the treaties which is signed by India, that is also one of the aspects that we need to take into consideration. All the international dispute, India try to take into confidence of the country with whom we have a dispute, or else like we have always approached the international dispute agency in order to solve any problem. So with this regard, that you should remember is that International Peace Day is celebrated in September 21. Universal Brotherhood, we have a concept called Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. It is similar to that one. The preamble is thus not confined within the bounds of national territory, as in the previous slide itself you have seen how we are striving forward to bring international peace and order. Non-alignment movement is one such example. Okay? India is ready to overflow them to reach the loftier ideals of universal brotherhood. In the memorable words of Pandit Nehru, that we can see that the only possible real object that we in common with other nations can have is the object of cooperating in building up some kind of world structure, call it one world, call it what you like. Though India declares herself as a sovereignty to manage her own affairs, in no unmistakable terms, the Constitution does not support isolation or jingoism. What is jingoism? Jingoism is kind of Hitler kind of ideology, wherein like Hitler believed in waging a war against other countries and merging all the territory to what called our territory, and we are imposing our culture on them. That kind of ideology we don't believe, jingoism ideology. Isolationism is that we are not isolated ourselves from other countries. We also believe that we should have a very good relation with all the countries. We should promote world peace. Indian sovereignty is consistent with the concept of one world, international peace and amity. Again I say Indian sovereignty is consistent with the concept of one world, international peace and amity. So with this I end this video, part 2 of the preamble and the philosophy of the Indian Constitution. In the next week I will be coming online in order to ask you questions. Thank you one and all for listening.